Hello YouTubers, this is Emda, and in this episode, I'll be reviewing the game named Papo Yo. Papo Yo's story is a straight out from an English literary book. It is a game full of symbolism where a South American kid is experiencing abuse from his father. Thus, the kid tried to escape from reality by going on his own fantasy world. This is the first game that is developed and marketed by Minority Studios, a Canadian game studio. So, gameplay. The game is mainly a puzzle platformer in a third-person perspective. You solve puzzles and interact with the world by moving switches from levers, gears, ropes to robot plugs. You can also alter the world by moving houses in your own liking, and even stack and bend buildings so you can reach high places. The puzzles are ridiculously easy, but the game doesn't recycle a puzzle mechanic from its previous one, so you won't get bored or appalled from the game in the middle, which is the main problem of puzzle games. Unfortunately, even though the puzzles are somewhat original every level, there are parts where I, in my opinion, think that other puzzle levels is just used as padding or to lengthen the gameplay time before you can finish it. Some of the puzzle doesn't contribute at all the storyline, or at least that's how I interpret it. This is seen strongly at the end. Spoilers ahead. If you don't want to hear the spoilers, please press on the link at the above so you can skip this. So the part where you need to revive your robot named Lula by squeezing the anger inside the monster. But you need to do it, how many? 4 times. So it's basically say that we want to lengthen the gameplay time and do it 4 times. Then the level is immediately followed by a platforming exercise in which you can do much. When you've fallen at the top of the houses, even the relocating door located in the ends of the place is pretty much useless since the monster catches up to you really fast when the distance is great, and then suddenly artificially slows down its speed when it's near you. But anyways, despite the padding and some frustration in the puzzles in the middle, the game ends the story in a relaxing trance-like state in which it tries to calm the player from the exhausting and rage-inducing puzzles. So for gameplay score, I'm gonna rate Papo Yo 6.4 out of 10. Let's go ahead in graphics and performance. Papo Yo was a port from originally was from PlayStation 3 and was just released 1 year after before in PC. The port itself was pretty much excellent. Textures and graphics and options in the settings were plenty enough. There's anti-aliasing, VSync, light shafts, motion blur, ambient occlusion, bloom, and FPS counter. The controls in Papo Yo, despite being a platformer, was not very good. It's probably one of the reasons where my annoyances stemmed from the game in the later levels, where you need at least have some precision in the jumping puzzles. I did consult my friend who is a PS3 player, and he did confirm that controls in PS3 is much better, and there's no surprise that using a controller versus a keyboard and mouse in Papo Yo feels much better. Other than the minor clipping issues from the monster, the FPS counter settings being reset in cutscenes and level change, and some anti-aliasing Assassin's Creed jaggedness, but much more extreme, and some lag spikes when it is auto-saving or going to checkpoints. So anyways, the devs ported the art design and feels perfectly. The graffiti and the art in the game really amazing, and the meticulous attention to the urban areas look is very refreshing. In addition, the game also features rewindable keys, invert options, and mouse sensitivity, which are very, very rare to see in ports. Sorry. For more details, you can check PC Gaming Wiki for Papo Yo porting differences in this link above. So, for graphics and performance, I'm gonna give Papo Yo 7.6 out of 10. Then let's go ahead in sound and dialogues. Well, there's nothing special for me in this game, but it is indeed quite fitting in the setting. Maybe it's just because I don't like tribe music in the first place. Although there's a few quirks and problems where some sound effects seem to be muted at times, and what you can all hear is the background music and some other sound effect things. Maybe it's their design choice, but I wonder if this game would be much better if had a narration that is similar to the cave. So for sound and dialogues, I'm gonna give Papo Yo 6.1 out of 10. For the final verdict, and it isn't worth it. Despite the game being visually appealing and its symbolic storytelling being unique, the game itself is unstable for me, in my experience. Although throughout my first playthrough of the game, I suffered from 8 separate crashes, crash to desktop, and 1 blue screen of death. The crashes were mostly seen from checkpoints and scripted events. The game will just stop and a message will pop out like this. And then the blue screen, I don't know, it's from some unknown reason, but it's from the first puzzle, I think. It was really, really laggy. It was weird. Then it just went blue screen. It's probably that the game doesn't want to be recorded at that part. The story from the game, from the start, is very obvious, so I didn't feel anything special also from the story of the game, apart from the game itself being very personal to the developer, as in as from the first code in the very beginning of the game. Maybe the story will hit hard on some people who did experience the same thing, and they'll probably rate it higher than mine. But for me, who didn't experience this kind of family problem, I'm probably rating it with a bit more bias and less. So the story is probably a hit or miss, love or hate situation. Especially from the technical point of view, there is some out of place parts of the story that the game is implying, which I will not discuss here to avoid spoilers. But I can assure you that in the end, after playing the game, there will be like 2 to 3 things that you will feel and realize that is kinda out of space in the story. My official game time from playing this game, disregarding some puzzles which I redid due to crashes and blue screen, was 3 hours and 19 minutes, including credits. Yep, of course you need to include that. So, in my opinion, for $15, I think the game is not worth it for me because I did crash a lot. But if you didn't experience that crashing and blue screen, I'd fully buy it for full price for $10. But since I got it for 75% sale, it is a daily Steam sale, I can't complain enough for that price. For the final score, I'm gonna give Papo Yo a score ratio for this kind of game, a puzzle platformer, a ratio of 65, 25, 10, which bring the final score to 6.7 out of 10. And there you have it, guys. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe for some indie reviews, some gameplay, showcases, and other stuff. Bye, guys. Oh, one more thing. Next month will be very special. I'll be reviewing and comparing 2 indie horror games straight from Steam, and they are released same time and same month. It is Outlast and Amnesia, the pig whatever. It's the pig stuff. Alright, bye guys.